All right, so Arsenal won, Man City won. Um, Very interesting match. A lot of talking points. But the first thing right off the bat, I knew um, lineup was a problem. Three defensive midfielder issue that we've had that Arteta is fixated about. Um, Knew that there was going to be some definite haram ball to start off the match, and I was pleasantly surprised that we seemed to start off the game, pretty proactive. We weren't sitting back and inviting pressure. We were actually trying to take the game to City. But in spite of us, doing all that we could to go after a goal, we were hit by a counter. Brilliant counter from City, and Holland, loves to score against Arsenal, and took his chance, surged to the middle of the field, and 1-0 to City in the ninth minute. So you could tell right after that, the levels, the team started to get a bit more robotic and cautious in terms of their play. Didn't seem like they had many ideas in terms of breaking City down. Guys were just bereft of ideas, really. And again, it stems back to the lineup. We have three defensive midfielders. What do you expect? So, the majority of the half, the first half at least, was, you have Trossard and Madueke doing a lot of the work, a lot of the creative work on the wings. They asked some questions, but there was no end product. So go into halftime down. That changes have to be made, and fortunately, surprisingly, Arteta made changes right away, bringing in Eze and Saka, and you could tell that they brought life into the match. Most importantly, Eze was playing in the middle of the field as opposed to play on the wings, and I think that's his natural position. I think he does best in the middle when he's allowed to roam and dictate play through the middle. And life was there. And then City, put a bunch of numbers in their box. Resorting to defensive football. We saw Arsenal do it against Liverpool a few weeks ago, and so just playing to secure a win, and as opposed to playing football. And I get it. I mean, you want to protect your lead, but it just was a boring game to watch. For any neutrals that were watching the game and having to see that, just boring. See a team just sit back and be under siege, and then watch Arsenal just pass sideways and backwards most of the match. But it was no cutting edge whatsoever for the majority of the second half. And fortunately, Martinelli comes off the bench, and Eze, being in the middle, was able to spot his run and send a ball over the top. And in the 93rd minute in stoppage time, Martinelli takes care of business. Similar to what he did, in midweek against Bilbao in Champions League, comes off the bench and delivers. And really, when it just seemed like we might as well lose the game, but just that 1 minute of brilliance, and makes it 1-1. The game starts to get interesting. City seemed to be trying to push for a goal to get a win. Arsenal was also pushing, but it's just haram ball, haram principles, man. In terms of being defensive and cagey, it's just teams are not even going out and playing ball. Playing possession, trying to break teams down, impose their will on teams. So just a lot of things to work on. Um, and just really a mentality shift I feel needs to be made, and definite questions need to be asked about whether Arteta is the right man for the job. Um, and by the job, I mean someone that can take Arsenal over the finish line and deliver a title, um, serious titles, Champions League or league. Um, so still early days in the season, a lot of football left to be played, but right now, um, things are. I don't think things are looking good in terms of how Arsenal is playing. I know there's a lot of new players that have been brought into the team. Um, a lot of determining factors, as to who plays where, who's the right fit. Um, so yeah, definitely a lot of work to be done in the training ground, but the approach to the games, I feel that Arteta is being too reactive as opposed to being proactive in terms of seeking goal scoring opportunities and really just trying to go in and run teams off the field. Um, too much caution in our play, and I feel like the players are playing playing like they're in prison, as I've mentioned many times before. So um, hopefully Arteta is able to take lessons from this match and yeah, just try and mold this team and put them in a position to where they're going for goals and where they're clicking on all cylinders.